if you are new here. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope first of all you have a very Merry Christmas. If you don't celebrate Christmas, I hope you have a happy holiday, enjoying time with your family on these days off. Today we are going to do a bake with me. I'm going to be making 3 different cookies. The first one is going to be a Doubletree chocolate chip cookie. If you've ever been to the Doubletree, you know they always have those warm cookies waiting for you when you check in, and you can usually get them when you're checking out as well. The next cookie that we're going to be doing is a Snickerdoodle cookie. Now, when I used to visit Hawaii all the time when I was a kid, there was this one place that I always would go to get Snickerdoodles, and I don't think I've had Snickerdoodles since then, so I want to try to recreate it at home so that way it's something that I can have and it kind of reminds me of a good memory in my childhood. And the last cookie that we're going to be making is a double chocolate chip cookie. Now, instead of regular chocolate chips, I'm going to be swapping it out for white chocolate chips. I just think that's going to taste better, and it's going to remind me of the Subway cookies. And if you know, the double chocolate chip cookies are superior. That and the oatmeal raisin. Let me know if you guys have any Christmas traditions. This is one that I want to start, and hopefully I will do it again next year if you guys like this. This is the first apron I've ever gotten. I bought it at Hobby Lobby, and they have, I think right now it's 70% off of all Christmas. So I got one that's like an elf. Hopefully I don't mess up my makeup. And I think I'm going to start with the Snickerdoodle cookies because that looks like the easiest. And I will make sure to leave all of the recipes that I make in today's video in the description box below. So if you guys want to try them out for yourself, it'll be easy to find. This recipe is for 24 servings. I'm actually gonna split it in half to 12. Okay, we're gonna do all the dry ingredients first. So 22 tablespoons of flour. I know that's weird and precise, but I converted it for half of the recipe. Less than a teaspoon of cream of tartar. Do you think that's enough? I think that's enough. And then it says half a teaspoon of salt. I'm gonna put about that much. And then it's 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. So now I'm just going to whisk this together just to distribute it all. All right, now we're gonna work on the wet ingredients. It calls for half a cup of butter. I think that's 1 stick, right? I'm pretty sure half a cup is 1 stick. Yep, so 1 stick of butter. And then you need 3/4 cups of sugar. So this is a 1/4 of a cup measure. So 1, 2, 3. And then it says to beat that for 4 or 5 minutes. So I creamed this for 4 minutes. And it says to scrape the bottom, scrape the sides, and then to add the egg and vanilla and then beat again. And I have my eggs room temperature. All right, I'm gonna blend this up and then add the flour. Now it says to add the flour, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. good dough. I'm glad I only did a half batch because this is my first time making these. So I don't know if they're good. So I'm doing the full batch of the Doubletree cookies though, because I know those are good, you know. Trying to get every last bit of this dough. Now it says refrigerate for 20 to 30 minutes. So I guess I'm gonna do that. We have to mix up a cinnamon sugar mixture to roll these cookies in. So I will go ahead and put this in the fridge. So this says 2 tablespoons. We're gonna go ahead and we're just gonna do 1/4 of a cup. How about that? A little less than 1/4. We'll do 1/8 of a cup. And then it says 3/4 tablespoon of cinnamon. So I have a 1/4 here. And then here's the cinnamon. And we're just gonna mix that up. Oh, it smells so good. It smells like Christmas. So I just took the Snickerdoodle dough out. It is nice and firm. I'm gonna just bake up 4 of each of these cookies and freeze the rest. So that's why I have a small little silicone mat here. So I'm just gonna set them down first. So I'm gonna wait until the oven is preheated and put these in. I'm going to make the rest and stash them in the freezer. So these are the last 2 that I'm doing. So the recipe said it would make 12. So I have 4 in the oven. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these in the freezer. And once these are frozen, I'm gonna pop them in a Ziploc bag. They smell amazing. These are good. The next cookie that we're gonna do is the double chocolate chip cookie. Here is how it looks. This is from the Preppy Kitchen. I love his YouTube channel. I'll leave his YouTube channel and the recipe down below so you guys can follow along with him. But it looks amazing. And instead of chocolate chips, I'm gonna use white chocolate chips because I feel like that's gonna give me more of the Subway kind of feel. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix the dry ingredients first. I feel like that's always the easiest thing to do. So it calls for 1 cup of all-purpose flour and 1/3 cup of natural cocoa powder. I love chocolate chip cookies, but something about like a chocolate, like, you know, cookie that is made with cocoa. I don't know, something about that. I'm trying to be as even and leveled as possible. Next is a half a teaspoon of baking soda. A half a teaspoon of salt. It's really important to salt your desserts. I heard that salt is supposed to just bring out the natural sweetness. So I'm gonna go ahead and just mix this. This is gonna be my honorary dry ingredients bowl. And all these recipes are super easy. So for the wet ingredients, you're gonna need another half stick of butter. You're going to need half a cup of granulated sugar. So I'm gonna do 2 of these 1/4 cups. I'm gonna have to refill my sugar. I have just enough. Oh my gosh, I have to re-measure that. 1/3 of granulated sugar. One-third of granulated sugar, and you're going to need half a cup of light brown sugar. All I have is dark brown sugar, and I believe the difference between light and dark brown sugar is the amount of molasses in it. And I heard the dark brown sugar has more molasses, so it makes the cookie chewier, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm fine with a little chewier cookie. And I'm just gonna go ahead and use dark brown sugar. And it calls for a half a cup of light brown sugar. It does not say whether or not it should be packed or not. So I'm assuming that it should be packed, but I'm not sure. And I'm just gonna use the same whisk because yeah, we're not gonna wash in between. And I'm pretty sure it'll be okay. I'm just gonna whisk this for about 3 minutes until it's light and fluffy. It might need 4 because I think he uses a stand mixer and this is just a handheld mixer. So I beat this for 3 minutes. It says to scrape the sides down and then add the egg and vanilla. This is why I love cookies, because it's the same process for all the cookies. This needs 1 large egg. A lot more vanilla in this cookie. Now it says slowly add the flour. So I think I'm gonna do it in 3 batches. I'm gonna add the chocolate chips. I'm using the Toll House ones. Trying to get every last morsel of this dough because I know it's going to be good. Now this doesn't say anything about letting it chill in the fridge. I think I'm gonna let these chill for probably about 20 to 30 minutes as well. So now these are actually room temperature, so putting them in the fridge was pointless, but I find that it's easier to work with when they're, you know, room temperature. So the recipe said that these would make 24. We're gonna see how many I get. Gosh, now this is too hard. I put this in the freezer because it was hard to come out of the scooper, and now it's too freaking hard. I just can't win. I cannot win. Nah, it's not gonna work. Oh my gosh. Why is this scoop giving me so much issues? Okay, so this is literally the second time I'm going to be going out to the grocery store for these cookies. I'll be back. 2 hours later, $5 broker. We got a new working one. This one, RIP. I literally only used you like 5 or 6 times. All right, so I went ahead and put these in the freezer while I was waiting. So they're actually perfect to go baking. I'm just gonna go ahead and measure out the rest. Oh, that was so effortlessly. Perfect. The recipe said that it would make 24. Let's count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 23. It made 23, so not bad. I'm gonna bake probably 4 of these, and I already have the oven preheated to 300. The directions say to cook these at 375, but I feel like if I cook them at 375, they won't spread that much. So I'm gonna try to bake them at 300 degrees for a little bit longer. All right, these are nice and frozen now, so I'm going to stick them in a Ziploc bag. And I love pre-packaging them because I don't have to cut or anything. If I want one, I just have to grab it from the bag. I know they'll all cook at the same time because I portion them out the same size. gonna try these for, we'll give them 10 minutes, we'll give them 15 minutes since they're cooking from frozen. They turned out looking good. I like that I cooked them lower, so at 300 degrees instead of 375, and I cooked them for 20 minutes total. I feel like they spread a little bit more, which I like a cookie that's flatter. This one's good. So I ran out of sugar and I thought I had more, but I don't. So we are going to have to do the last, my favorite cookies tomorrow morning because it's currently 10 o'clock right now and I'm not going out to the store to get sugar right now. I can't do it. Good morning, guys. So it is the next morning. And yes, I'm wearing the same outfit because I literally wore this for like 3 hours last night. But I am on the quest to finish this baking. So what I have now is the frozen dough of the Snickerdoodle cookies that I'm going to put in a bag. And this is why I like pre-making the batches and freezing them, because they don't stick. They're perfect. All right, so this is gonna be in the freezer. And we're gonna go ahead and start my favorite cookies. And I just realized that I was using salted butter this whole time, so I went out and got unsalted butter when I got more sugar. But the Snickerdoodle cookies did not taste too salty. They tasted perfect. And this butter is not softened. See how hard that is? Take a plate, and I think you have them standing up, and you put them in for 10 seconds, flip it, and then another 10 seconds, and it should be perfectly soft. So I went to Walmart, and I got some sugar, both kinds, brown sugar and regular sugar. So we're just gonna go ahead and fill this up. And something weird about the Doubletree cookies is it requires lemon juice. I guess it's supposed to help with how it rises or something. I'm not really sure of the science. If you guys know, let me know. But for the dry ingredients, we need 2 1/4 cup of flour. Oh my gosh. One cup, 2 cups. Here's the 1/4. A 1/2 cup of rolled oats, so I'm just going to do 2 of these. It has a pinch of cinnamon. We're going to do 1/8 teaspoon of cinnamon. It calls for 1 teaspoon of baking soda. 1 teaspoon. And 1 teaspoon of salt. That's a little bit less, but it should be fine. So we're just gonna take this and mix it on up. So it calls for 3/4 cups plus 1 tablespoon of granulated sugar. 2, 3, and then 1 tablespoon. It calls for 3/4 cup of dark brown sugar, or it says light brown sugar, but all I have is dark. And this one does say packed, so I'm making sure to pack it in. So that's 1, 2, It's a little shy, but I think it'll be okay. 3. And then it has 1 pound or 2 sticks of butter, and that 20 seconds in the microwave worked perfectly for these. They're nice and soft. And I'm just gonna cream this for, it says about 2 minutes. Now I have a lemon, and I'm just gonna do like a small little wedge because it says only 1/4 of a teaspoon. This is 1/4 of a teaspoon, so we're gonna see. And it calls for 1 1/4 teaspoons of vanilla. And then 2 eggs. So it calls for 2 eggs. You're gonna mix low for 30 seconds, medium for 2 minutes. I don't know if you guys saw my Costco haul, but I have a big bag of walnuts that I bought. And look what I found in my pantry. Granted, this is only 6 ounces, so I don't think it's gonna be for the whole batch of cookies, but I didn't need that big thing of walnuts, but that's okay. I'm gonna make these cookies a lot more probably. That's what I keep telling myself. And they store really well in the freezer, so I'm just gonna throw them in the freezer. But I'm gonna actually chop these up and then measure out the chocolate chips. All right, so my camera died, but while it was charging, I measured out about 2 1/3 cups of walnuts, and I have 2 cups of, I have milk chocolate, but the recipe calls for semi-sweet chocolate, and it calls for 2 2/3 cups of chocolate, but I feel like that's just way too much chocolate for me, so I ended up adding more walnuts than it called for, because I like walnuts in the cookie more, and I feel like it could have more in it. But I'm just giving this a rough chop. I know some people that roast the walnuts first, but I don't have time for all that, you know? Since I'm making these cookies smaller than they originally called for, I'm gonna try to make sure that the walnuts are cut kind of fine. And I have tried roasting them before. I don't really notice a taste difference, so I don't think it's necessary. It's an added step. They're already getting baked. I'm glad I get to kind of tailor it to my taste buds. But by all means, if you're a chocolate fiend, add all that chocolate. I would just go a little bit less on the walnuts then. All right. I think these are as chopped as they're gonna get. So now it's time to just mix everything up. I'm just gonna whip this one more time since I had to kind of wait for my battery to charge. I'm gonna kind of do thirds on this. And go very slow. And now I'm just gonna add the inclusions. And it's all right that there's still a little bit of flour that's not mixed in. That's actually what I want. So the inclusions have something to hold on to, you know? Oh my gosh. I'm making a mess, guys. But these literally are my favorite cookies, so I don't make them often, but when I do, I always make the full batch. Yeah, this is definitely enough chocolate chips for me. I don't think another almost full cup. It would have been too much. And the Snickerdoodle cookies, they didn't spread as much as I'd like. And I think it's because I had the temperature at 350 when I cooked them. And this recipe actually calls for you to bake them at 300. So I think I'm gonna try to cook the double chocolate chip cookies at 300 as well, just to see if they spread a little more. I'm gonna put this in the fridge for probably 10-15 minutes because I'm just gonna roll them out and put them in the freezer and then bake some of them. Now we have the infamous Doubletree. This is my favorite one. So I made the full batch size. These, the best bits. So I'm expecting to have at least 50 or more of these cookies. So let's see. They have been completely chilled. I'm gonna bake probably like 6 of these because these ones are my favorite, and I already know that my sister loves these ones. But yeah, I tried the chocolate chip one. So good. So good. So I have 8 here that I'm going to put in the oven, and I have the oven preheated preheating to 300, and I'm gonna cook these for 20 minutes. And now I have all these, perfect timing. Now we have these perfect, individually sized cookies ready to be baked. And there you have it, my first bake with me. Hopefully this becomes a tradition. If you guys like these types of videos and want me to do more bake with me, cooks with me's, please give this video a thumbs up so I know. My favorites by far are the Doubletree chocolate chip cookies and the double chocolate chips. The Snickerdoodles I probably wouldn't make again. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Happy holidays. I hope you have a great new year. If you stayed to the end of the video, let me know by commenting, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next year. Bye.